Welcome to the It's in Queens podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Simmons, and this is the only podcast that focuses on my borough of Queens. This weekly podcast comes to you thanks to the Queens Tourism Council and the Queens Economic Development Corporation. Together, they showcase Queens as a destination with something for everyone, whether you live here, work here, or you just want to visit. I hope everyone had a fantastic long weekend celebrating Labor Day and that you're now feeling refreshed because now it is back to work, back to the books, and we all know the busy holiday season is just around the corner. As we transition to the fall, it's a great time to think about the exciting opportunities ahead in our borough, especially for the younger members of our communities. There's a wealth of programs available for youth throughout our borough, whether they're interested in the arts, sciences, athletics, or community service. Queens is rich with opportunities for personal growth and leadership development. And one organization that stands out for empowering young girls is the Girl Scouts of Greater New York. With 265 troops across Queens alone, this organization fosters leadership, service, and community building in girls of all ages. One troop in particular that's making a difference is Troop Cambria Heights, led by this week's guest, Iris Allen. Based in Far Rockaway, Troop Cambria Heights includes 25 girls from a number of neighborhoods, including Jamaica, Hollis, St. Albans, and even Valley Stream. Their youngest member is just 4 years old, while the oldest is 17, and that shows that no matter their age, these girls are committed to making a difference in their communities. So I recently caught up with Iris Allen to share more about the incredible work her troop is doing and how it's impacting lives. Iris Allen, I really want to first start off by getting to know you. How did you first become involved with the Girl Scouts, and what inspired you to take on the role of a troop leader for Troop Cambria Heights?
Well, actually, it started almost about 15 years ago. My oldest daughter, Cassidy, we were looking to try to find a group that she could be a part of, somewhere where she could learn new things, try new things. We were new to the Springfield Gardens area. We had just moved. She was new to her new elementary school. She was a first grader. And so what happened is I actually just went on the website and I put in our zip code and we found a particular troop that was less than 5 minutes from our home, and that's how I got involved in Girl Scouts.
So when you were growing up, you were not a Girl Scout?
I was, believe it or not, I actually started off as my twin sister and I. We actually started out as Brownie Girl Scouts, and we attended Girl Scouts for about a year or two. But unfortunately, back then, Girl Scout troops were typically held in troop leaders' homes, and unfortunately, our troop leader had a fire, so that kind of ended my Girl Scout experience. So I only was in Girl Scouts for a year as a Brownie Girl Scout.
What do you remember most about those experiences? Because I'm always curious how, I was a Cub Scout. I made it to Boy Scouts for a short period, then got involved in other activities, but I still remember the camaraderie. I remember, learning about the environment, experiences that shaped my, future curiosity. How did even your involvement with the Brownies and, for even a short period of time, how did that shape you and influence how you lead your troop today?
Mm. Definitely. What I learned from my troop back then was about community, a sense of community. So that was something that I knew when myself and another co-parent started Troop Cambria Heights. I wanted to create an environment where girls felt a sense of community, where girls that were diverse, diverse in age, diverse in ethnicity, diverse in race, that could find their place in our troop. And so that those were things that I remember that my Girl Scout troop was diverse. We had African American girls, we had Caucasian, we had Hispanic, and we were all from different elementary schools. So when we would come and meet, our troop leaders somehow we found a common bond. And so I remember learning how to cook with her. I learned how to make pancakes. And actually, till this day, I'm still a queen at making pancakes. So it was a great experience. And so I wanted to bring that to Troop Cambria Heights when myself and another parent launched off and started our troop.
So, you mentioned food, pancakes, but, many people associate the Girl Scouts primarily with selling cookies, but there's so much more that the Girl Scouts do. And I'd love for you to talk a little about the other aspects of the Girl Scouts that you think are just as important, if not more so, for the girls in your troop.
Agree. I mean, Girl Scouts, I would say, prepares our girls to be go getters, innovators, risk takers, and leaders. As Girl Scouts in our troop, we try to exemplify this mantra. We want to provide them opportunities where they can be celebrated and enjoy being a girl. but also empower them to achieve the impossible and to seize every opportunity. So in our Girl Scout troops, we try to provide opportunities where they can form friendships, where they can earn badges and awards, where, as we call it, a journey is where they do different tasks and so they can win together. And so also a new thing I know within my Girl Scout Council, Girl Scouts of Greater New York, we have a leadership institute. So when girls become middle school, they can start to develop their leadership skills into high school. We like you mentioned with Girl Scout with cookies, we now try to encourage them about financial management. How to budget, how to plan. Believe it or not, we have badges about auto care. So again, we're able to help our girls learn how to do auto care and how to decorate their room. And so again, I like it that our badges prepare the girls as they grow older into the things that will make them into great women, but also great people. And so those are things that, again, I feel that people should know about Girl Scouts, that there's a badge for every life skill out there. And so, um, when girls are actually moving on to bigger levels, like when they complete fourth and fifth grade, they can work on their bronze award. So that's kind of like a taste where they get to kind of do a community service project, but they work as a team. And then in their middle school years, they can work on the silver award. So that's an opportunity where, again, they're now sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. They're going through middle school. They're now, again, working as a team with other Girl Scouts. So they now actually do a little bit more hours of community service. So now they're maybe doing 50 hours, 80 hours of community service, but then they're kind of making a bigger impact on their community. So then by the time they become a high school student and they're working on their gold award, they're now ready to make that impact in their community. So the gold award is where you kind of make a lasting project or contribution to your community. So I love that Girl Scouts allow girls to grow as they're growing. It gives them experiences where they can try new things and be successful at it. And if they're not successful, they learn how to do it better. So that's what I always like to tell people, that Girl Scouts, we're more than just cookies. We're
And
about lifelong learning.
and to help them, on this path to success and a lifetime of learning, I'd love to know a little about your approach, how you personally work to foster an environment of growth and learning within the troop.
Correct. That's a great thing. I think another key thing that sometimes people forget is that Girl Scouts, we need Girl Scout leaders. So people like myself that were parents, but again, we continue on. Anyone can become a Girl Scout leader. And so I know many times people may think that a Girl Scout leader has to be a female. No, we have Girl Scout leaders that are male. So again, that's one good thing about Girl Scouts, is that we're able to bring your qualities. So my particular qualities is I love to do community service. So within my troop, I have fostered relationships with community organizations, with religious organizations, with libraries, with banks. So when our girls want to do something, I'm able to call a leader, and they're able to come in and talk to the girls about financial planning. Or if a Girl Scout is working on a research project or working on her gold award or silver award, we're able to partner with the library. So the library is a resource for them to do research on their project. So what I say is that the best thing that I try to bring to my troop is my resources. So I love community service. I love building and fostering relationships. And I love trying new things. So those are things that I try to bring to my Girl Scout troops.
And I think about how often I've seen troops throughout the city participating in volunteer activities. When I used to work with the Downtown Alliance in Manhattan, a troop had shown up to help at a weekend event where we beautified the neighborhood. Just one example. I'd love for you to share an example or two that come to mind about how your troop has really impacted the community where you might have volunteered or done something similar.
Actually, I have two great stories. So, one great story, believe it or not, we actually started off trying to do an Earth Day badge. So, last year, between the months of April and July of 2023, our Girl Scout troop, actually one of our leaders, she approached the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 5298 in Springfield Gardens, and she approached them saying, we wanted to do something for Earth Day. Could we work with them and do a garden? So that actually started a curiosity within our girls about the environment. So really from the month of April, really all the way to almost August, we were in their garden every 2 weeks. So it allowed us to work with, again, the VFW to learn weeding. The girls learned how to plant and harvest vegetables and plants. They actually learned teamwork. Um, they were able to, one of my co-leaders, her name is Miss Stephanie. She actually, believe it or not, she had a project. So although the girls would do weeding in the garden, at the end they would take a little garden with them. So the first garden they took with them is do a repurposed garden. So the girls had to bring cereal boxes, and they actually made a little garden out of the cereal boxes. Then the next time we came back, they made a relaxation garden. So again, she brought in sand, and the girls made little ponds in the sand for water. They made a little water treatment. They made made little figurines. So that was their relaxation garden. And then the one of the last gardens that she made with them was actually their own little garden. So that was a way for the girls to kind of monitor how the plants grew. So again, that's a recent one that I really cherish, because we were able to work with our local VFW posts and again beautify them in terms of their garden, but also our girls learned about the environment and about helping their neighbors.
And for anyone out there who knows about the Girl Scouts but really doesn't know how to become a Girl Scout or when you can, correct the perception that you must be an older girl to be a Girl Scout. What's the requirement, or how can one just sign up or join and become a member of your troop?
That's a great question. Girl Scouts can join at any age. So again, typically a lot of girls join when they're 4 or 5 years old as Daisy Girl Scouts, but you can join at any age. So Girl Scouts many times join in their elementary school years, middle school years, or even high school years. Also, Girl Scouts, which is great, has an opportunity that many times Girl Scouts could join if they want to do, as I mentioned earlier, expeditions. So if they want to go to Girl Scout camp, they could sign up just to go to a Girl Scout camp. Or if they want to take, again, they want to do some type of community service overseas, they could sign up a membership and again go with other Girl Scouts to do work overseas. So that's a great thing about Girl Scouts, is that it meets you where you are. If girls are looking for troop involvement, if they're looking for a specific project, or if they're looking for a specific activity, they can become a Girl Scout.
And as I get ready to close, I'd love to know what your hopes are, your goals for the future of Troop Cambria Heights, and what experiences you hope the girls will cherish the most from their time in the Girl Scouts.
True. That's a great question. My hopes and goals for True Cambria Heights is that we continue being a place for girls to learn that they can be go getters, they can be innovators, they can be risk takers, they can be leaders. I want us, as I say with our website that says, Girl Scouts can do anything. I want them to feel empowered. I want us to continue to inspire and enroll girls, but also leaders. We're looking for great adult leaders that are willing to share their gifts, their talents with our girls. Um, Also, we're looking to continue partnering with the local organizations. Like right now, we work with the Idlewild Park Preserve. They have an environmental learning center. I want us to continue tapping in to those community organizations that are there that can also provide experiences to our girls. So again, I'm looking really for us to continue growing in terms of membership, again, growing in terms of leadership, but again, also growing within our connection with the community. Because as Girl Scouts, we really need our community to be that life learning environment for our girls. And so the better we're able to do that, the better our troops are.
You mentioned the website before. If any youth in Cambria Heights wants to join the troop, or if people want to find out, you mentioned becoming a troop leader is very important. People want to find out more information about how they can become a troop leader. Share some information about where they can go and where they could also find more information about Troop Cambria Heights.
Sure. Well, one good thing is we have had a few articles published. So if people just want to Google True Cambria Heights, they'll see some of the great work that our girls have done. Also, as I mentioned, our website is called Girl Scouts Can Do Anything.com, one word. So again, it's actually saying the actual word. So Girl Scouts Can Do Anything.com. That's our true website. but also they can check into our national website, which is girlscouts.org. So those are great places where you can, again, Google search, find out more about how to become a leader, how to become a Girl Scout. But also, what I like too, learn about the other opportunities. So we have opportunities for girls to do exploration. So girls can actually sign up to do an expedition in India or overseas. Or as I mentioned about our leaders, leaders can find a troop where they need their extra skills. So it's a great opportunity for everyone to make a difference in our communities.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Iris Allen, for appearing here on the It's in Queens podcast.
Thank you.
The Girl Scouts are making a profound impact, not just in Queens, but throughout the entire city. They're cultivating leadership skills, instilling a sense of community service, and fostering friendships that will last a lifetime, whether it's by organizing food drives, volunteering at local shelters, or advocating for environmental issues. Members of the Girl Scouts of Greater New York, of all ages, are learning how to be positive agents of change, and these girls are developing critical skills that prepare them for the future, all while making a difference in the neighborhoods that they call home. As we ease back into work and school routines after the long weekend, it is so easy to get caught up in the hustle. But even during the busiest times of the year, it is important to carve out moments to relax and enjoy everything that Queens has to offer. Whether it's taking a walk in one of our beautiful parks, checking out a local cultural event, or simply exploring a new neighborhood, Queens offers countless ways to unwind and recharge. Don't let the grind keep you from experiencing all of the unique things that make our borough such a vibrant place to live, work, and play. And if you're looking for something else to do this month or next, we've got you covered. Well, Rob Mackay has you covered. He's with the Queens Economic Development Corporation and the Queens Tourism Council. And each and every week he brings us details on some of the more exciting events that are happening in Queens. Here's this week's report.
Hello, Jeff. I have a pretty fascinating thing up this week that will actually it'll go on and have many, many different lives. There's a woman named Stephanie Lee who works at Queens College, and she has turned her Bayside backyard, really her garage, into an art space. And it's in fact called the Garage Art Center. And she is opening a site-specific installation of colorful paper weaving pieces to this weekend, September 7th, by a Brooklyn artist named Joelle Baxter. She's got a very cool eye, this Joelle Baxter. Her compositions create this kind of pixelated, wavering sort of visual effects with geometric patterns that repeat over and over. It really, looking at it is kind of 3D, kind of 2D, and it takes you to 4D. But the opening is this weekend, September 7th at 4 o'clock. And then the show is up until September 28th. On sometimes you have to contact Stephanie Lee before so she can be there and let you go in and see the gallery. But it's a great art exhibit, and it's also a great art space. It's a suburban backyard in Bayside, Queens. And a woman who really loves art has turned it into sort of her passion project. So there's this show, but then there are going to be other shows going on and on for as long as she lives there. So again, the show is called Iterate, Reiterate. It's at the Garage Art Center from September 7th to September 28th. All the more information is that it's in Queens. Jeff, I hope you are enjoying your September. All right, bye.
Thanks, Rob. That's just a few of the things that are happening in our borough. The place to go to discover everything that's on the horizon is the It's in Queens website. And here's that website address. You're not going to forget it. It's so easy to remember. itsinqueens.com. And by the way, if you are interested in more business-related news, then head over to the QEDC's website at queensny.org. And when you visit that website or the It's in Queens website, well, sign up for their newsletters. You'll get notified in your inbox about opportunities. When you visit any place in Queens this season, remember to snap a photo or two and share them with us. Use the hashtag #It'sInQueens when you post the photos on Instagram or X, because your photo could become our photo of the week. I'm your host, Jeff Simmons, and that's it for this week's It's in Queens podcast.